Picture this. Roger Waters, the defiant architect of Pink Floyd's grandest creations, sitting down to reveal the darker side of his years in the band. But this time, the focus is not on himself. Instead, it's on David Gilmour, the guitar genius and voice behind many of the band's timeless melodies. Today, Waters opens up about what he sees as Gilmour's insecurities, jealousies, and the personal and professional conflicts that not only fractured their partnership, but rippled far beyond the confines of Pink Floyd. The tension between Waters and Gilmour was brewing long before it became a public spectacle. Their creative dynamic was complex. Waters was the visionary lyricist, weaving dark, introspective narratives, while Gilmour's guitar work gave those stories their soul-stirring resonance. But as Pink Floyd's success skyrocketed in the 1970s, their partnership began to crumble under the weight of clashing egos and competing ambitions. During the recording of The Wall in 1979, the cracks became undeniable. Waters took the reins, asserting near-total control over the project, while Gilmour struggled to carve out space for his contributions. The result was a tense, hostile environment where every decision felt like a battle. Waters saw Gilmour's reluctance to embrace his vision as a lack of commitment, while Gilmour resented Waters' authoritarian approach. By the time the final cut was released in 1983, the two were barely speaking. For Gilmour, the bitterness wasn't just about music, it was personal. He reportedly felt overshadowed by Waters' towering presence in the band, and his growing resentment manifested in subtle, cutting ways, revisions to solos, last-minute changes to arrangements, and an ever-present tension that made collaboration nearly impossible. Gilmour's jealousy, as Waters portrays it, wasn't just limited to their time in the band. Even after Waters' departure in 1985, Gilmour seemed determined to prove that Pink Floyd could thrive without him. Albums like A Momentary Lapse of Reason and The Division Bell showcased Gilmour's melodic brilliance. But they were also met with criticism, often accused of lacking the depth and conceptual ambition that defined the band's earlier work. For Waters, this was validation, proof that Pink Floyd needed his dark, cerebral touch to truly shine. Think of the frustration of being hailed as a guitar legend, yet constantly feeling as though your artistry is dismissed as secondary. Gilmour's post-Waters Pink Floyd became his way of asserting his legacy, but the shadow of their rivalry loomed large, with each success tainted by the unspoken question, could it ever measure up to what the band had achieved together? Gilmour's complicated history with Syd Barrett, the original frontman of Pink Floyd, adds another layer of drama to his story. When Barrett's mental health and substance abuse issues forced the band to part ways with him in 1968, Gilmour was brought in to fill the void. But this wasn't a seamless transition. Barrett, already spiraling, reportedly saw Gilmour as both a savior and a usurper, someone who was taking his place while trying to keep the band afloat. Years later, Gilmour expressed regret over how Barrett was treated, but their relationship remained strained. Barrett's descent into isolation and his eventual death in 2006 cast a long shadow over Gilmour, leaving him to grapple with the guilt of what might have been done differently. Outside the ethereal world of Pink Floyd, David Gilmour's reputation for meticulousness and an unwavering commitment to perfection often clashed with the creative rhythms of his peers. One such collision came in the late 1918s when Gilmour crossed paths with Ringo Starr. What should have been a harmonious collaboration between two legendary figures quickly turned into a creative battleground, highlighting the stark contrasts in their personalities and artistic philosophies. Picture this. Ringo Starr, the easygoing and laid-back drummer of the Beatles, known for his humor and instinctive musicality, walks into a studio expecting a fluid and relaxed creative environment. Across the room stands David Gilmour, a man whose precision and pursuit of excellence often left little room for spontaneity. What began as an exciting venture between two giants of rock devolved into a standoff between starkly opposing styles. Gilmour's approach to the project was nothing short of obsessive. Every note, every arrangement had to be meticulously constructed, polished, and perfected. For him, music was a craft that demanded discipline and control. Star, on the other hand, embodied the spirit of improvisation, bringing a natural, unstructured energy to the table. But to Gilmore, this relaxed approach bordered on carelessness. Each rehearsal became a clash of egos, with Gilmore pushing for refinement and Star advocating for spontaneity. The studio sessions grew increasingly tense. Gilmore's relentless pursuit of precision frustrated Star, who felt stifled and micromanaged. To Star, Gilmore's demands were not just overbearing, they were incompatible with the collaborative spirit he valued. Gilmore, in turn, saw Star's casual demeanor as a lack of seriousness, a cavalier attitude that grated against his own disciplined work ethic. And heated exchanges became the norm, with neither man willing to compromise on their vision. As their disagreements escalated, the collaboration began to unravel. The creative tension that might have fueled something extraordinary instead became a wedge that pushed them apart. By the time the project collapsed, it left both men disillusioned. Star reportedly walked away feeling that Gilmore's rigidity had made the process unbearable, while Gilmore saw the experience as a reminder of the frustrations of working outside his carefully controlled environment. Though their conflict didn't spill into the public eye, its impact lingered. For Gilmore, it underscored the challenges of stepping outside his Pink Floyd bubble, where his perfectionism was both understood and accommodated. For Star, it was a stark contrast to the collaborative magic he had experienced with the Beatles. A reminder that even among legends, harmony is not always guaranteed. The clash with Star revealed a deeper truth about Gilmore. His brilliance as a musician was inextricably tied to his uncompromising nature. While this made him a master of his craft, it also isolated him from those who couldn't adapt to his demanding standards. In the end, the failed collaboration stood as a testament to the complexities of genius and the human tensions that even icons cannot escape. Beneath the spotlight and soaring guitar solos lay a personal life in turmoil, a reality that David Gilmore rarely allowed the world to see. His first marriage to Virginia Hazenbein, a union that began with hope and promise, slowly unraveled under the weight of his demanding career. Picture this: Gilmore, immersed in the intricate production of an album, spending countless nights in the studio, while at home his wife and young children waited, feeling the emptiness left by his absence. For Gilmore, the pursuit of musical perfection was non-negotiable, but the cost was painfully high. The relentless cycle of touring and recording took its toll. While the world celebrated Pink Floyd's triumphs, Virginia was left to shoulder the responsibilities of raising their family alone. The emotional chasm between them widened with every sold-out concert and late-night studio session. Gilmore's role as a husband and father became a shadow to his role as a rock star, and the strain on their marriage was palpable. Arguments became a fixture of their relationship, fueled by resentment, unmet expectations, and the unrelenting pressures of fame. For their children, growing up in the Gilmore household was bittersweet. On one hand, they had a father whose music transcended generations, a man revered by millions. But, on the other, they faced the challenges of being children of a man who was often absent, both physically and emotionally. Imagine the bittersweet feeling of pride mixed with longing, watching their father perform to adoring fans, while knowing he might miss another milestone in their lives. The dissolution of Gilmore's marriage in the late 1918s marked a turning point. It wasn't just the end of a relationship, it was a reckoning. For a man who had built his life around the pursuit of artistic greatness, the breakdown of his family forced him to confront the sacrifices he had made along the way. The quiet moments after the divorce were heavy with reflection, a chance to grapple with the question that had long haunted him: was the price of success worth it? Though Gilmore later remarried, finding solace and stability with his second wife, Polly Sampson, the scars of his first marriage lingered. They were a reminder of the fragility of balance, of the fine line between ambition and neglect. Even as he built a new life, the weight of his past mistakes shaped his approach to both his family and his career. Gilmore's personal struggles were not unique among rock stars, but they revealed a stark contrast between the man on stage and the man behind closed doors. While fans saw a serene, introspective artist whose music seemed to flow effortlessly, his family experienced a man grappling with the consequences of his choices. His story is a poignant reminder that even the most iconic figures are not immune to the challenges of maintaining harmony between their public and private lives. Today, as Waters' revelations reignite the age-old debate over Pink Floyd's fractured history, Gilmore's legacy stands as a testament to both his genius and his humanity. He is a man whose guitar work has moved millions, yet whose journey has been marked by jealousy, conflict, and the weight of expectations that few could ever bear. From his battles with Waters to his uneasy relationship with Barrett, and even his clashes with Star, Gilmore's story is one of brilliance tempered by strife. It's a reminder that even the most iconic figures in music are, at their core, profoundly human, driven by the same insecurities, ambitions, and struggles as the rest of us. And as the music world reflects on Waters' words, one thing is certain: the story of David Gilmour, like the music he helped create, will continue to captivate, inspire, and provoke debate for generations to come.